Alright, hello guys, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video, and today we will be doing more Rivals of Ixalan draft. The reason why I want to do more is because I need more content of this throwback draft into my channel so I can cover all of the Magic Arena draft sets. It's just a personal goal of mine, so yeah, although this isn't the best draft set, I do want to have at least some great videos to kind of pinpoint how this works for funsies. And yeah, I could be doing the cube draft, but overall I'm not that great at cube, and the power levels are just all over the place, so it's really hard to pinpoint what strategy I want to do in the cube. Cube does have a lot of variety, there's lots of options, and you're mostly going to end up in the archetype you prefer, since you can kind of just, since there's so many great playables, you can kind of pigeonhole yourself pretty early. But yeah, I don't mind doing a Rivals of Ixalan draft. Again, not the most amazing draft set, but I do want some content, and it should be pretty fun exploring it, so let's begin. And pack one, pick one, Rivals of Ixalan draft. What do we open? Seems like a pretty bad first pick. What's this? Mastermind's Acquisition. Okay. So it's like a Demai Tutor for 4 mana. Or you can get a card from your sideboard. I guess it's okay, but you don't really want to do 4 mana just to find a card or a bomb and put it in your hand. I think in Limited you do want to kind of just develop the board for the most part, or draw as many cards as possible if you aren't developing the board. So I don't know about this. We have Curious Obsession if I want to go for the blue Temple deck, if I pick up enough flyers, or Merfolk Mistbinders, I don't know, the Merfolk Mist-cloaked heralds, I guess. This can be nice if it manages to chip in a couple of damage, and it can steal a game if it goes unanswered. Riverwise Augurs, okay, nothing exciting. Relentless Raptors for the red white dino payoff. There's Luminous Bonds, we can end up in the dinosaur colors, or vampires if we take this. And overall, most of the other commons aren't exciting. I think the only two picks that we had a debate over here is the Luminous Bonds or the Curious Obsession. Of course, Luminous Bonds would be the more flexible approach. Not too exciting though, but it is good removal. And if I take the Curious pair, I would probably be going all in onto like a Merfolk deck or a Pirate deck that's playing lots of flyers, and this can maybe steal a game. I don't know, I think the Curious Obsession has the more upside, and I haven't built any blue evasion decks yet, and it should be pretty fun, maybe just building this type of deck, and we can hopefully prioritize some flyers and unblockables, so why not, I'll take this. But the more safer pick will probably be the Luminous Bonds, and one can build a nice white deck, either white-red dinos, white-green dinos, or white-black vampires. We'll see. I could be wrong, but the Curious Obsession seems like it has the highest upside if I manage to get the right deck with it. So we'll take the Curious Obsession. And then we get a payoff. Well, we do have a Water Knot as a great removal spell. There's also the Moment of Craving for the Vampires deck if we took the Luminous Bonds. Nothing amazing outside that. Not a big fan of black-green in the Rivals of Ixalan sets, and even then this isn't all that amazing. It's just a 3/3 you can get back over and over, but even then it takes 5 mana to recover it. Strength of the Pack would be nice as a curve topper in the green dinos or the green merfolk decks. I think here just between the removal spells is the Water Knot or the Moment of Craving. Given that I took the Curious Obsession, I think I'll just take a Water Knot here. We can move into like blue-black pirates or blue-green merfolk, and we can prioritize some unblockable creatures to leverage this Curious Obsession here. So yeah, I'll take the Water Knot here, and then hopefully we get the right deck going. Here, well, there's a Crashing Tide, and there's a Gilcrow Stalker, which I don't mind. Nothing unblockable here. It seems like the Vampire color is open. I could also just speculate on this second Moment of Craving being passed, and we could end up with blue-black pirates. Crashing Tides is for the Merfolk deck though, and it's pretty nice if I end up in Merfolk. We did just pass up a Moment of Craving and a Luminous Bonds. So it could have been correct to move into vampires. But if I end up in vampires here, I think I would still take the moment of craving. So yeah, I mean, I could just take it here, but if I do end up in the Merfolk deck, Crashing Tide could just be better. It is going all in. Again, if I take the moment of craving, I would give my options available to be in like a blue-black Ascend deck. With some couple of flyers or Mist-cloaked heralds, I can still use the Curious Obsession to close out the game. Overall, I think it's just a better card. So I think I'm just going to take the moment of craving here. And it's still fine if we end up in black-blue. And if not, we do pass up on the Crashing Tide, but so what? We can always pick up one later. So we'll see. Take the moment of craving for now. There's a Mist-cloaked herald, perfect. There's also a Hunt the Weak, which is an okay removal spell, but not amazing outside of the dinosaur decks. I mean, not outside the Merfolk decks, since Merfolks tend to be quite small to fight with. It can be fine with like a Jadecraft Artisan, since it's a little bit more beefier. But I think the Hunt the Weak is better in a dinosaur deck. And in blue doesn't really play with dinosaurs, so I do like the Mist-cloaked herald. It goes well with the Curious Obsession. We can still play it in the Pirates deck if we do end up in that category, or we can just move all in on Merfolk. Another great card is the Exultant Sky Marcher for the Vampire deck. But for now, I think I'll take the Mist-cloaked herald and try to force like a blue tempo deck here. Riverwise Augur is okay. There's a late Relentless Raptor that wields, so red-white dinos could be open. There's nothing amazing. There's a Knight of Stampede, but I think we're either Pirates or Dinos, I mean, Pirates or Merfolk. In that case, I could just take the Riverwise Augur as a fine card. It's not amazing, like a 4-mana 2/2 isn't great, but it draws your card in a sense that it makes you draw 3 cards when the ETBs, and you only put 2 back. So it can be a decent way to dig deeper through the deck. Otherwise, the Evolving Wilds could be a fine way to help splash. But yeah, I don't mind taking the Riverwise Augur. It's just in our color. It's an okay card. And what's this? Enter the Unknown. It doesn't seem great. Like 1 mana, give a creature 1/1 counter, and you might not even get a 1/1 counter. Might just net a land, and that's fine. Hornswoggle for a counterspell deck. Are we a really counterspell deck? Not really. It seems like Merfolk is looking to tap out more. Therefore, we should just take the Jadecraft Artisan as a decent 4-drop for the Merfolk deck. And hopefully we can pick up some earlier creatures. I don't really like Grasping Scoundrel even in black-blue, since it's looking to be more controlling instead of aggro. This is better in like black-red Pirates. Again, Hornswoggle would be a little bit more versatile, but it's not a great card. So I think I'm fine just moving out of the way, maybe forcing the Merfolk deck here. Since it also seems pretty open and no one here looks like they want to play Merfolk, although now there's no Merfolks in this pack. There's a Gleaming Barrier, I guess, if we end up in blue-black. Solar Rapids have been quite an underperformer, since 5 mana for a 3/3 flying isn't all that amazing. It gets easily blocked in this set due to the high toughness Sun-Crested Pterodons, and you don't really want to get to 5 mana just to play this. It's great if you can give it lifelink, I guess, and unblock and lifelink, so it can't be answered. It's pretty decent, the Curious Obsession too, but that's a big if. What's this? We're not really a dinosaurs deck. This is just filler. I mean, I could just take the Cacophodon, even though I do have a 2 4-drops already. It's not great, though. I don't know, maybe we just take the Solar Rapids at the end of the day. I mean, there is a chance we could end up in blue-black, and this can be an okay card, but I think I'll just take a Solar Rapids. Don't think we're moving the dinos anytime soon. Hopefully not end up playing this. And now Gilgrowth Stalker is a nice 2-drop for this deck. Dusk Charger could also be fine in the blue-black Ascend deck, but I think we wanted to kind of go all in with Merfolk just to have the most synergy and upside. Now could just main deck a Plummet. Sea Legs isn't great. Yeah, Sea Legs is pretty bad. Maybe we might end up playing Plummet, who knows. And, well, we could play an Araska Frillback. Strider Harnesses could also be fine if we have a lot of flying creatures or evasive creatures. But I'll still take the Frillback here in case we need a mediocre 3-drop. Yeah, these cards are just pretty awful. Take a Naturalize. And now I don't mind a Jade Bearer as a fine 1-drop. I do want to have a low curve count, so I don't think I need another Jadecraft Artisan as a 4-drop. The Jade Bearer can be a decent 1-drop in this deck just to enhance our early Merfolk. So okay, looks like we are in the Merfolk color, so we are cutting it off quite decently. So hopefully in the next pack we get rewarded really nicely. But overall, the first pack looks like it was leaning towards the Vampires deck. So if we would have been in Black-White Vampires, we would have almost had a complete playable deck by now. With all these Moment of Cravings, the Luminous Bonds, and the nice Exultant Sky Marchers and whatnot. But we're still kind of cutting off this tribe, so hopefully we get rewarded next pack. And what's this? Not a great card for us. This is a pretty good card in a Merfolk deck. Like, it's a 2-1 that replaces itself. There's a Reaver Ambush as a great removal spell. Woodland Stream is fine. There's also another Mist-cloaked Herald that could be pretty essential in the Curious Obsession deck. Although, yeah, I could just take the Mist-cloaked Herald. Although the Silvergill Adept is also pretty nice to have, just as a 2-1 that replaces itself. Secrets would be fine. There would also be the Woodland Stream. I don't know. I think I'm leaning towards the Silvergill Adept, and hopefully we can pick up another Mist-cloaked Herald later. I do want to have a good 2-drop here that cantrips. You do need to have a Merfolk in your hand, but if I'm playing a million Merfolks, then this is nice. So I don't mind taking the Silvergill Adept here. Otherwise, I think another Mist-cloaked Herald would be great to go along the Curious Obsession, but if we're going all in with the Curious Obsession, we need to keep in mind that we need to also have the Curious Obsession in the deck, as well as the Mist-cloaked Herald. So I think I'm fine just taking the Silvergill Adept. I could be wrong. Hopefully I pick up another one later. So we'll take a Silvergill Adept here. And could use another Water Knot. It's a great removal spell. Why not? Ooh, and there's a Legion Lieutenant in this pack, so definitely would have had a stronger Vampires deck, but so be it. We'll take another Water Knot as a great removal spell. Ooh, Merfolk Mistbinder. Well, that's a great payoff. Don't mind if I do. Also wouldn't mind a Crashing Tide for more interaction, just as a great card in the Merfolk deck. Replaces itself and also cantrips. Path of the Metal. It's a bit of a build around. It can be a decent Rage Enabler in the white-red Dinosaur deck. And it can be quite powerful. Like if you can transform this, it can splash, and it can deal 2 damage to the opponent every time, and then it can also act as a decent defensive spell, but it is quite random and a little bit hard to get going, so to speak. But it can be a really nice Rage Enabler in the red-white Dino decks, since they do have a lot of these abilities: Double Strike, Vigilance, Haste, and First Strike. But I think it's the Merfolk Mistbinder, so that's we're definitely well rewarded here. So yeah, Ixalan's almost like flipping a coin. Force yourself into a tribe almost, and hopefully your next packs give you the great payoffs. And now we have a Mist-cloaked Herald that I'm happy to take. Definitely not playing Enter the Unknown. We already have a Souls. I wouldn't mind the Secrets, but maybe Hardy Veteran might even be better than the Secrets in this type of deck, since we're looking to be hyper aggressive with a low land count. But I like the Mist-cloaked Herald. It's just a great card, the Curious Obsession. That's a late Stormfleet Sprinter. So red, blue, aggro Pirates is also open, but I'll take a River Darter here just to have a Merfolk on turn 3. Just filling that gap on 3, and this can't be blocked by Dinosaurs, so it can be a pretty decent card in some matchups. Could take a Secrets here. Could take a Spirewinder as a decent 4-drop, just to give us that extra evasion that we might need. Secrets can be fine, but we're looking to be a tap-out deck, so we're mostly going to look to curve out for the most part, and looking to play lots of creatures. There's another Jadecraft Artisan, though. I mean, we are getting kind of stacked at 4, and with 2 Mist-cloaked Heralds, we should have some unblockable creatures already. So I don't know how often we need to Spirewinder. I could just take another Jadecraft Artisan here. Hardy Veteran's fine, but it's not a Merfolk. It doesn't really have synergy. It's a really good attacker, though, on the ground on turn 2. But it could just be another Jadecraft Artisan. I just want to have as much Merfolk synergy as possible, and if we're able to get all that going, it can be quite powerful. So I'll take a Jadecraft Artisan here. Here I could use a Colossal Drenmaw, although there is an Aquatic Incursion. This can be a powerful win condition, especially with the Curious Obsession, just making those target Merfolks unblockable and creating 2 1/1 blue Merfolk creatures with hexproof is quite nice. Also wouldn't mind the Colossal Dreadmaw or like Ixalan means to help me bridge the gap and have a decent 3-drop blocker. But again, we want to kind of just focus as much on Merfolk synergy as much as possible in this set. Now I can take another River Darter. There is another Jade Bearer. River Darter can be okay. We do have a gap at 3. There's a Spirewinder, which can be okay in these decks. But usually we have enough evasion in the Merfolk decks. We might not need like a 4-mana 2/3 flying creature. Jade Bearer seems decent though, just as another nice 1-drop. Although you do need to have a Merfolk in the first place to give a 1/1 counter. So it can be quite difficult sometimes. I think I'll just take the River Darter. Again, we do have a gap at 3. I just want to fill it out. And the Jade Bearer is not all that amazing now. Another Mist-cloaked Herald. I think I'll take it over to Dual Land. Dual Land would be nice, but we do need to maximize on these to get in all those unblockable damage and steal games. So maybe I'll take a Mist-cloaked here. Ceratops stay trapped in the pod, so the opponent doesn't gain life. Doesn't seem like a great card, but I'll take it here. Hopefully not end up playing this. And another Solar Rapids, sure. Maybe take a Tilnali's Crown for the collection. Okay, so hopefully the next pack will pay us off, but we're definitely in the we're definitely getting all the Merfolk payoffs, so we'll see. Daring Saboteur, not a Merfolk, but it's a nice way to loot in the late game, I guess. What else is there? There's great cards like Stormfleet the Pyromancer, Call to the Feast is great, Sheltering Light is nice, Dive Down, I wouldn't mind a Dive Down, like to protect our Curious Obsession from getting answered. There's also Pirate's Prize, which can help us ramp a bit, and drawing 2 cards on turn 4. But again, I think we're just going to be this hyper-aggressive tempo deck that we might not have time to play cards like Pirate's Prize. We're just looking to develop the board. The Daring Saboteur is pretty interesting as a way to potentially loot in the late game. But you do need to pay 3 mana to make it unblockable, so it's not for free. So I think we just take the Dive Down here as a nice way to give our Merfolk's hexproof in case we put a Curious Obsession on it and the opponent tries to remove it. So we'll try it here. Also protects our Merfolk Mistbinder and it's pretty efficient. What's this? River Sneak. Okay, this is a really good card. Can't be blocked. And then, yeah, it's just going to get out of hand, so this looks great. There's a Verdant Sun's Avatar for the green dinosaur decks. So this is a nice way to gain life. But it is 7 mana, quite expensive. There's also Kumena's Speaker, which would also be a nice Merfolk payoff. But I think the River Sneak gets the nod here, because it's mostly going to be unblockable and quite a scary threat that needs to be answered. So Pounce is also fine, but we're not really a Pounce deck. So I think I'll take the River Sneak here. Not a great card. There's just a giant mana rock. Tempest card looks pretty powerful, like a nice 4-drop that taps down all the opponent's creatures. Yeah, that's pretty broken. There's also Shipwreck Looter, which I wouldn't mind. River Herald's Boon is excellent in the Merfolk deck. Jade Guardian could be fine as well, but I'm not going to take over a Tempest Caller. Just being able to tap down all their creatures in one turn can usually close out the game. Even though we have some evasive threats, sometimes we just want to build up a large board and just tap everything down, and that can be quite nice. Might just cut the Riverwise Augur. It doesn't seem all that amazing. Sure, it can help us dig, but I don't really want to play a 4-mana 2/2 at the end of the day. This is also fine. I would probably take the River Herald's Boon over Jade Guardian, but Tempest Caller, I'm not taking over Tempest Caller here. What's this? Siren's Ruse, exile target creature control. We don't really have any pirates, so no great synergy. You could take a Grazing Whiptail. Don't think we're splashing for red, but I could just take it for the collection. Siren's Ruse is a way to protect our creature, but we're not going to draw with it, so it's not great. Yeah, none of these cards seem good. I don't think I care about a Grazing Whiptail at the end of the day. Just want to maximize on all my Merfolk synergy. So I'll take the Dual Land maybe just for the collection purposes. Siren Lookouts, nice card, 3 mana. We do have a gap at 3, and it might not be a Merfolk, but again, it does. It's a nice evasive threat. could use another one, and we do have a huge gap at 3. There's also Jade Guardian, but I think we have enough 4s already, and the 4-mana 2/2 isn't great, even though it does have hexproof. I don't really want to play a 3-mana, 4-mana 2/2. I guess it's more like a 4-mana 3/3 since it puts a 1/1 counter onto a target creature. But we definitely have a huge gap here at 3. So I don't mind kind of filling that up with the Siren Lookout, and it's a nice, decent card to have. Also flies, so it gives us evasion, good with the Curious Obsession. None of these are great. Whenever it's dealt damage, you gain 2 life. I don't care about that. This is just an 8 mana draw. This is just, I guess, 9 mana draw. Draw 3, but we're not going to get to 9 mana. We're not really a dinosaur deck. Yeah, I guess I'll just take another rare for the vault. Ooh, Storm Sculptor, okay. This isn't bad since it can kind of return some of our creatures back. So if we have good ETB like the Tempest Caller or like the Jadecraft Artisan, we can just rebounce them and replay them. It's not a May ability, so you have to do it, but it can be serviceable, so why not? And Run Aground, this can be okay as a bounce trick. How many flyers do we have? Not that many, like 1. So it doesn't seem really good in our deck. Spell Pierce is too situational, and they usually have the mana to do. I could play Crash the Ramparts as a decent pump trick. Why not? Just as a way to pump in that final extra point of damage, or to get a nice attack in. Run Aground could also be okay, like as more interaction. That might actually be better, since I think we have enough power with all these blockable Merfolks. I don't think I need a Crash the Ground. Sometimes you just need to get something out of the way. And then essentially buy a turn by making the opponent miss a draw step. So I don't mind a run aground in this deck. Spike-tailed Ceratops seems like a filler card. I might just take it here because we are kind of lacking playables. Could take an Opt. Opt is always fine filler. Ixalan's Diviner, just a 2-mana 2/2 that can, in the late game, if you get to 8 mana, you can pump a creature. It seems okay, but not exciting. There's a Crushing Canopy to deal with flyers, but we do have a Plummet already. I think I'll take the Opt. And I guess we'll just take this for the collection. Not playing this, but I'll take it. Makeshift Munitions seems okay, but not amazing. Okay, so we are lacking 1 playable. I think this might just be a 17-land deck, even though I prefer to play 16 lands in the Merfolk deck. We are again lacking a playable, so I don't really want to go down 16. So what do we want to throw in this deck? Could play the Riverwise Augur as a fine Merfolk, although we do have a lot of 4 already. This is too expensive. This is not that amazing. It's just a 4/4, same as this one. Could play the Raska Frillback, but I don't really want to play a 3-mana 4/2 that trades down. Although if it goes unanswered, and I mean it can be a decent curve play, I guess. Since we're looking to be quite aggressive, we can have a decent 3-drop that if the opponent just to kind of fill out the curve, and then it can just run away with the game if it goes unanswered. So this is more or less likely our curve. And I think this is 17 lands. Solar Rapids just seems too slow. It's pretty nice for the Curious Obsession. It's nice that this can fly. But we have triple Merfolk, Mist-cloaked Herald, a River Sneak, which gains unblockable. Sometimes a Gilt Grove Stalker, the Siren Lookout is a nice evasive threat. Storm Sculptor is a nice evasive threat. And the Acquired Conversion can make a Merfolk unblockable, so I don't know if we need a 5-mana evasive threat. Could take a Naturalize, could take a Plummet. How many creatures are we looking at? 16. Could just play 16 creatures and just kind of curve out and beat down. Again, could just play the Frillback as just more aggression. I wouldn't mind main decking Plummet though, or maybe even a Naturalize, but it is quite situational. If we can deploy enough threats, we can just close out the game without worrying about how many flyers they have. In terms of removal, we do have like the Double Water Knot, the Run Aground. Sometimes the Tempest Caller is a bit of a removal spell. So yeah, I think we just go 17 lands like this. The deck might risk flooding out. We do have an op that can help us dig a little bit deeper. We have a Quiet Incursion as a decent mana sink. I mean, I could tech in the Riverwise Augur and cut the frill back. But it doesn't even seem that great, to be honest, since we have a bunch of 4s already. So I don't know, we could just try this, see how it goes. And slightly favoring blue, so 9-8. Could go to 10-7, as crazy as it seems, since we do have a lot of blue going on. But I don't want to overdo it, that I can't cast my Mist binder, but we do have a lot of blue. Yeah, I could risk it. I could go 10-7. It's not the end of the world. There might be games where we do need the green to get going, but our green cards aren't even that amazing. They're just kind of like curve fillers too. So we'll try something like this. I don't think it's going to be an amazing deck, since it is... I think the win condition is just to get in as much evasive damage as possible, essentially. And I think we should have been in a better Black-White Vampires deck if I stayed open with the Luminous Bonds, but you never know. Do want to maximize blue as much as possible in this deck to cast my 1/1 unblockable Merfolks. And we just need to be really hyper-aggressive with this deck. We can't really spend our time like fumbling around with cards like Plummet or the Naturalize. Like, we don't care if our creatures get removed. We're just trying to chip in as much damage in as much as possible. So the throwback is definitely a fine 3-drop in this deck. Especially if the opponent missed land drops. Imagine getting hit by a 4-2. So it's a pretty basic deck. Nothing exciting. Hopefully we get rewarded for forcing this tribe. And what do we have? Well, not bad. We have all our colors. We can just drop the Guild-Growth Stalker on 2. The Water Knot is going to be a little bit difficult to cast, but I think it's okay. We do need to be heavy blue for this Water Knot, so I think going 10-7 is correct. Okay, there's a chance that this could work, and we have Dive Down to protect our creature. Opponent passes. Okay, I think the Stalker makes sense. Just start getting in there. And then we can eventually have the Curious Obsession and the Dive Down up on one of our evasive threats. Okay, that's going to be a problem, but I can lock it down. I think we're just going to play land. I think I'll attack in for 2 here. Opponent might just attack back. I could just play the Araska Frill back to disincentivize an attack and force a trade. I don't mind that, since 4 is a lot. Once I get my blue mana, I can lock this down. Sure, I guess it's a 3-3. I guess he'll be taking 6 now, so that's not bad. I guess I'll just play my Drakecrafter Artisan. I could also Curious Obsession and keep up Dive Down, but I think I just want to be mana efficient here. Pump the Guild-Growth Stalker in case he has a trick, and this is a lot of damage. The opponent might be forced to stay back here. Yeah, so throwback, definitely a good curve creature. Opponent's down to 10. I don't think he can outrace us. He might be forced to stay back. Could just use a Water Knot here, just to lock it down and get in all the damage that we can. Could just attack. What happens? He's probably going to block the 4-2. But I think we'll Water Knot here. Force him to use a counter spell, perhaps. And this is how we usually steal the game. Yep. Alright, not bad. We do have a Silver Guild Adept at 2. The Jade Bearer is not going to gain any value, so I don't want to play it, but I'll keep this. Maybe lead with the Guild Silver Guild Adept or the Guild Grove Stalker. Like, it might be better to put the Jade Bearer on the Guild Grove Stalker, but ooh, this is nice. Get in there. I guess this is a turn 3 play here. So I don't have to play the Silver Guild Adept now. I could attack him for 1 here. He could have like Moment of Craving. I can still just play the Guild Grove Stalker, and then next turn we can play the Silver Guild Adept, reveal the Jade Bearer, draw a card, then use the Jade Bearer to enhance a creature. He could have a removal spell. I could just play the River Darter, in fact. We'll move the tax here. I'm afraid he might have a removal spell, so we do need to play around it a bit by just curving out, being mana efficient. Okay, that's good. So he tapped out for his removal spell. Ooh, this isn't bad. But I think we still play the Silver Guild Adept here. Like, I could play this into a Jade Bearer, but I think I want to just drop the Silver Guild Adept here. Ooh, Aquatic Incursion. Okay, so now we can enhance the Merfolk Mist-cloaked Herald and get in. I guess a board wipe can kill us like a Golden Demise, but so be it. Shipwreck Looter, okay. Guess I can just play everything here. Jadecraft Artisan is pretty nice, since it can pump the Silver Guild Adept out of range. So I don't hate it here. Play the Jadecrafter Artisan. We can pump the Silver Guild Adept, get about out of range from the trade, and then he's forced to block a 1/1. He could chump block and use a trick here, but that's fine. It forces him to use a trick. Golden Demise would officially end this game, but that's a rare. Also need to be careful in mind of Settle the Wreckage. Okay. We're still ahead on board. If he Golden Demises us, I still have a 3/3 that I can start attacking. So Merfolk is definitely a very powerful tribe. I think it's right to reset the Mist-cloaked Herald instead. So it's game over here since it comes in tapped. Okay. Yeah. Ixalan draft. This draft Merfolk. Get your 7 wins. Not too difficult, right? You don't even need to draft a creative vampire deck. Just make those 1/1 unblockable Merfolks and swarm the opponent. Okay, well, not the most amazing hand. We can opt into something. Maybe we can try that. We'll see. Hopefully we get a playable. That's a good card, but I don't think we need it here. We just want to find a Merfolk and start beating down. And that's a good card. That would have been great if I had Dive Down still, but so be it. Opponent's also playing Merfolk, okay. But he's missing out on his creatures. Okay, we're not finding our playables. So there's going to be a turn 4 Jade Artisan next turn. Then we can keep the removal spells. That's a fine card. Hopefully he just digs him a land. Okay, so it's not going to grow. But it does dig him a land, but here we can just play the Jadecraft or Artisan and start attacking. Yeah, this card's the MVP of the set. Just sinking in damage early on, getting pumped, and sinking more damage. It's a pretty absurd card, not to say the least. Could run aground, could Waterknot, could Tempest Caller. Curious Obsession, okay, so we're definitely going to use one of these. I think we're going to use the Run Aground here, or maybe the Waterknot. Depends on whether or not he taps out, or tries something here. Waterknot might be better, but Run Aground is a lot more mana intensive. Could just Run Aground, like force him to recast it, but then he gets to explore. But like if we get our 6th land, we can Waterknot and Frill back, so we'll do it here. And get in there for 4, so that's nice. This also makes some... I don't know if this was correct, I don't know. It's close, but maybe Waterknot was better, but it's more mana efficient. But now he's just digging lands. So maybe it wasn't correct to run around, but it's hard to know. Opponent can now double block. Plays attacking. It's a little bit strange. I guess now I can maybe Waterknot or Frill back. Don't think I need to play the Waterknot though. Maybe just keep it back. And then we can get a nice attack here. That's a chump block, that's fine. Good Waterknot, but nah, we'll just use it later. Opponent could have scarier threats that I need to lock down. Maybe like a giant flyer. Don't think I'm trading here. A little bit odd. I am winning the race. I guess he just wants to make a bunch of 1/1s. I guess I can use a Tempest Caller to tap him down. And then save the Waterknot here. Have 2 Waterknots now. I could just use a Waterknot. It's mostly going to double block here, so I'll Tempest Caller. Why not? Get in a huge chunk of damage, 8. And this will maybe prevent him from attacking. So you still need to tap the hexproof creatures, although they do have hexproof. And now we can get a huge chunk of damage in. Does he have a trick for 2 mana? Okay, I guess he's going to use this to chump block. I mean, he could get lucky, and but he doesn't. He just digs a... I guess he could, yeah, he could keep the negate on top now. And trade for the Frill back. I guess that's fine. This does make Waterknot hard to cast if he keeps up negate. So it might force him to use a counterspell. Regardless. Okay, so he's doing this, so he's blocking the 4/2. I don't mind this. This is a good trade for me. He loses his invasive threat. I have a good blocker on the ground. Seems fine. And next turn I can use Waterknot on the River Darter to clear a path. Okay, I guess I can't answer that. I'm fine trading that off. We'll use the Waterknot. Lock down the River Darter. Does he have another trick here? He could have another blink effect. And I guess I'll attack with everyone. Could just attack with a Tempest Caller and a Mist-cloaked Herald. Since he's most likely going to trade a 3/2 for the 3/3. I'm fine just losing the 3/3 if he wants to. Trade for it. Since this is a fine trade here. I don't really want him to grow the Solar Rapids or put any enchantments onto it. He might have a trick here, maybe River Herald's Boon. Probably has it, but this is after. Okay, sure. Still getting for 4, so should maybe be able to outrace him if he isn't careful. I have another Water Knot to deal with another threat that doesn't have hexproof. Hopefully I don't flood out, because I do need to start throwing playables out on the battlefield to help close the game. Dead-Eyed Rig Hauler, okay, so that's going to bounce to 1-1. Guess that's fine. I can Water Knot the 3-2 and get in a nice attack. Force him to chump block, play out another 1-1. Okay, he's just going to return the Dead-Eyed Rig Hauler. Next turn he's just going to recast it. I guess that makes sense. But now I can just Water Knot, maybe get an attack in. Force him to recast the Dead-Eye Rig Hauler, force him to chump here. It's a nice trade, and then now we can play the Mist-cloaked Herald, and hopefully we top deck some playables. Otherwise, I guess he can buy another turn by casting the Dead-Eyed Rig Hauler. And maybe I can keep the Jade Arson back, I don't know. I might keep the Jade Arson back and just recast the 1-1, since I might get the my own Aquatic Incursion in order to make this unblockable, and that can be game. Okay, so I guess he can leverage this, just keep bouncing the Storm Sculptor back and the Mist-cloaked Herald. Okay, but I would have a creature still, I would have both of them still. Okay, sure. And if he wants to bounce back the Dead-Eyed Rig Hauler, that'd be my guess. He's still forced to trade, I guess. I guess he just wants to bounce back all of his creatures. Okay, Guild Growth Stalker isn't bad. I think we just get in there for 1 here. Or just attack with both. I guess I'll just attack with both. Force a trade. Next turn I guess it's 6, since I can't really deal with this Storm Sculptor. Alright, good games. Pretty close match, but I could have top decked something to maybe get out of that, I don't know. Maybe if I picked up another way to pump my creature to get across, that would have been great. But so be it. Alright, Curious Obsession is good. If I get a 1-1 unblockable, I could opt turn 1 to try to find it. I don't hate it. We also have the Silver Gill Adept on 2. Guess I'll turn 1, I'll opt and try to find my unblockable Merfolks to cast a Curious Obsession on. Land could be okay, just to get to turn 4. But we do have an extra draw step with the Steel Guild Adept, so maybe we don't need it. I'd also just prefer to have double blue at the end of the day instead of the extra force. Okay, so we do have a curve. Guess I will cast the Steel Guild Adept. Reveal the Tempest Caller and just can cantrip and draw me a card, so that's pretty nice. Ooh, Mist-cloaked Herald. Okay, we might get this going, we'll see. And do I want to do the Mist-cloaked Herald? Not really. I think the Siren's Ruse is Siren Lookout is a little bit better. And that's not bad. Do I want it though? It's still a 2/2, but I should have enough creatures, so I think I'll graveyard it. Could have a Moment of Craving to answer the 2/1, but that's fine. You could have like Divine Arrow, I guess. So it's also in consideration. Sure. I could Curious Obsession onto this and go for it. I mean, it's not a bad idea since he's kind of tapped out. I could play it safe with a Mist-cloaked Herald. I could Water Knot it and play out I could just Water Knot this, but you could have Impale next turn. That would be pretty bad. I could just take 3 here. I could just play Tempest Caller, but I'd rather save that for later. This Curious Obsession. And now we can play out the Mist-cloaked Herald and see if he has the Impale. And if he does, that's a bummer. At least this replaces itself. Could have Divine Arrow next turn. That would suck. Okay, Pterodon Knight. I don't hate this. It is going to fly, but that's okay. I can still, I could force him. I guess this will be a chump block if he decides to do it. Do I care? I don't mind just tapping everything down here. Maybe just develop the Tempest Caller and get an attack in. I think we'll just do that. And then we can start drawing cards too. And another Herald, so we'll just keep deploying them. Hope he doesn't have a board wipe. He could have like a Golden Demise, so I do need to kind of close out this game quickly. He might prepare something like a block and then use a combat trick. In that case, I can use the Water Knot. That's a good one. He might use this to stay back, and he will. So I think I'll Water Knot here. And we also have a dive down on defense, so that's nice. Get in there. And now I could just attack with my Mist-cloaked Heralds and the Sirens. Keep my 2/3 back to, since I don't really want to trade them off for the 3/1. And then we can say go. I can also bounce Tempest Caller and replay it eventually with the Storm Sculptor. I think I'll block the 1/1. Don't mind taking 3. Since I'm ahead in the race anyways. This is, I guess, a Golden Demise. We'll see. Okay, I discard a card, so I don't mind if I do. Think I'll discard the River Darter here, since it's not going to attack past the 3/1. And we'll say go. Guess I'll attack with all. If he wants a chump block, that's fine. That's a good trade for me. Ooh, that's a nice one. I think I'll save that. I think it's better to just cast a Storm Sculptor here. Maybe play the island, cast a Storm Sculptor, return back the Tempest Caller. And then the Tempest Caller can get in for a nice attack. And we'll end turn. I want to save the dive down to protect the Siren's Lookout. Yeah, Merfolks are busted. If you're able to get the Curious Obsession going and the 1/1 unblockable crap and then pump all the Merfolks. So this is definitely not a fun set for from the looks of it, since most of the spot removal tends to be quite expensive. Okay, so currently 3-1. Let's keep going. I think the only way we could have lost that one game was if he answered my Siren's Lookout with a Curious Obsession on turn 4. But that would have been real bad. The fact that I kept connecting with the 3/4 was really nice. How's this? Well, it's not great. I am on the draw. I might mulligan since I have a bunch of these 4-drops. I could get lucky and get like a 2-drop or something cheaper, but it is quite weird, so I think we'll mulligan this. This is not amazing, but I'll take it. I don't really want to dump any of this. Could actually see myself dumping a forest, since I do need a Merfolk. The dive down can be quite important in this matchup. I mean, I could dump the dive down, but we'll risk it here, since this is going to cantrip anyway and draw me a card and I'm on the draw. I think I'll risk bottoming a land. And I do have 10 blue sources, so I don't really care that much. Ooh, that's a good one. I think we'll lead with Island. Then we can reveal the Jadecraft Artisan and then play maybe the Merfolk Mistbinder afterwards. This is a good card, but we can lock it down with the Water Knot eventually, so we'll just cast the Silver Guild Adept, reveal the 4-drop, and then draw a card. This can help us dig deeper. Would love a land to eventually lock this down because it can be quite a scary card. I could also just trade for it, like, it's not a bad idea. Since I do have another 2-drop to follow up. And I do need to get rid of this, so I don't mind just blocking it if he decides to attack. Ooh, Sea Red. Okay, so I would definitely be quite... It would be quite nice to actually lock it down, so we'll see. Guess the opponent's going all out with the race here. So blue mana would be really nice to lock down this Storm Fleet Sprinter and start getting a nice attack in. Maybe it was correct to bomb the dive down. So now I might regret it here, but we'll get in for 3. This getting double strike wouldn't be nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 permanents, so he needs 4 more. I do need to find, so now he just needs 3 more. That's a good one. It can hold off both my creatures. I'll have to take 4 again. Well, is that 10? Wow. So I guess I'll be taking 8. Okay, that's quite rough. I guess I'll take 8 and hopefully pick up a removal spell. Otherwise, I'm forced to chump block next turn. Yeah, I don't really want to lose my Mistbinder, so we'll take it. And then we hopefully get a blue off the top to prevent this 8 damage from hitting us over and over. Alright, lucky top deck, please. I am at a low life total, but if I can lock this down, this would be great. And no luck. I guess I'll play the River Sneak. Or the Guildgrove Stalker. It's still going to be a 2-2, but if he kills this, that's going to be a problem. I'll play the Guildgrove Stalker. And then Trump block with the Silver Guild Adept and say go. Since one removal spell on this, and I think I might be able to close out the game eventually, but this isn't really nice, so I don't know, bombing the land was a little bit harsh, but I also didn't want to flood out since I do have 17 lands in this deck. But being stuck on 2 is not a good situation to be in. So yeah, let's block it here so we don't die, and then hopefully we can eventually get blue mana to lock down this 4-3 from stealing the game. Hopefully the opponent's just flooding out here, even though he did stack an Evolving Wilds and Traveler's Amulet, so he's probably running a low land count. Alright, that's bad. Could sacrifice my lands, but I do need a way to lock this down. Alright, so yeah, still not the right land. I don't think I want to play this. Should have bombed the dive down. Huge mistake there. I'll consider it next time, since the Water Knot is definitely an important card to have against decks like that. Dive down was essentially just a dead card that whole entire match. And maybe we can reverse sweep and get to 7, who knows. There's definitely a viable 7 deck if I can pilot this correctly and don't make dumb misplays like the last game. And actually bomb the dive down. But I was being a little bit too greedy there. I thought I could run away with like Curious Obsession. But it's better just to have the mana for the Water Knot just to lock down the Swashbuckler. Alright, so what do we have here? Well, turn 1, turn 3, turn 4, we're on the play. I think we keep. Alright, what's this? Sure. Think I'm still attacking for 1. They need to enhance this to make this very powerful. Do I want to trade? I could leave this back to block. Oh, it gets double strike? So I guess it's not bad just using the Siren's Lookout here just to help me discover. I think I'll graveyard that. I do have a 4-drop and a 3-drop already, and this doesn't really do much. I'll keep this back. I think I'll maybe trade off for the 3-1 here since I do have another Merfolk Mist-cloaked Herald here. So opponent's splashing here, maybe splashing red. Well, I'll be scared if he can equip something onto this. Is he gonna pounce here? Okay, ranging raptors, okay. Alright, so I guess now we can play out the Storm Sculptor maybe? Or the Aquatic Conversion. Maybe Aquatic Conversion is better, since it leaves up more blockers against this 3-1. And yep, I do want to make 1/1s to hold off this 3-1, and probably just take 4 at the very least. Don't really want to deal damage to this because he can just get a land. So I'm fine just taking 4 for now. I could also double block this. So this Inequality might not have a pump spell since he left this back. So okay, this is a 3-2 Trampler. I guess I can still attack in for 3. Play out a River Darter as a good blocker. I could also just cast a Storm Sculptor and then recast the Mist-cloaked Herald to put another unblockable creature out. I actually don't mind that. Or I can just go insane with the Tempest Caller, lock everything down, attack, and then use the Storm Sculptor on it. I don't know, it might be more important just to get in as much damage as possible, so I think we'll attack in for 3 here. And then we'll tap properly. Use the Storm Sculptor to bounce back the Mist-cloaked Herald, and then recast the Mist-cloaked Herald. This seems about right. And then we can start getting in for 6 per turn, and then we can use the 1/1 to chump block eventually. And then I can play out the Tempest Caller to go for an all-out attack if need be. I could still take the hits from these creatures, I don't mind, since I think I should be ahead in the race. Right, so now blocking the dinosaurs isn't good, so I can still block this Raging Raptors, so I guess I'll take 3 here. Opt isn't bad. I could also play Tempest Caller, hit in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think that's not enough yet, so I think I'll just opt here. Curious Obsession is great, so we'll draw that. We'll Curious Obsession onto, I guess, the Mist-cloaked Herald. Get in a nice attack. Keep the 1/1s back, and then we should be able to seal the game next turn. Even get to play the River Darter, which can attack past everything. I can just assign chump blocks here. 3, 4. So this is 7 damage. Okay, so that's not going to make it since I don't think he has enough damage for all-out alpha. He could have a double strike trick, so I should be careful maybe. But yeah. Alright, currently 4 and 2. We do have a long ways ahead, so we do need 3 games to at least get back our manhood. If you're hearing noise, I'm eating. So sorry about that. Okay, let's see. Well, that's not bad. Once we get to land 4, I guess we can pump it up, so it's okay. I think I'll keep. And especially on the play, I do want to start curving out. Don't want to miss. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, we'll cast a River Sneak. That looks really good. And it's guaranteed to attack in for 2 next turn. Although he could have a removal spell like Slash of Talons or okay, that's okay, but I can attack past it. I think we'll play out the Guildgrowth Stalker, keep up the dive down to protect our creature, and we can get in there for 2, so that's really nice. Next turn we can pump this to, I don't know, 6 power and get in for a ton. Hopefully he uses a removal spell because I do want to dive down. That's a good one. He's probably going to keep that back. Do I want to cast a Dradecraft Artisan? I think I do, just so I can, don't mind taking 4. He do need to eventually untap this, so I guess I can get in for an extra 2 damage here. Could have a Slash of Talons, so maybe it's correct to actually attack first and pump. I could take the turn off to do so. He probably has a trick here, maybe Slash of Talons. So in that case, I guess I pump the River Sneak so it can attack past it. And then I can attack him with both. He can Slash of Talons my Guild Grove Stalker, but that's okay. Vampire Seal, okay. Well, that's bad. I guess he can't block this anyways. But at least this can hold off the Vampire. I eventually need him to use the removal spell anyways. Now he could Impale, get rid of my River Sneak, and that can be quite annoying. He could give this life, but I can block it off, maybe. If he gives it Squire's Devotion. Ooh, what's this? Whenever another creature dies, put one counter on it. When it dies, ooh, this is a great card. Well, that's scary. I could offer to trade here. Maybe I just play 3-drop into 1-drop, or keep up Dive Down. Because I don't really want this to die. I mean, I don't mind it actually. Maybe it's just better to play the Jadecraft Artisan, just get in a chunk of damage. And get him the River Sneak. I don't really want to attack with the 3-3 because he can just make a bunch of 1/1 tokens and untap the Famished Paladin, so I think this is fine. And if he attacks next turn, I can use the Jadecraft Artisan, maybe even double block it. He again can untap with the Famished Paladin, but I do need to eventually answer this somewhat. Opponent stays back. I can opt. So I can opt Siren's Lookout. I could also just cast a Mist-cloaked Herald in Siren's Lookout. Maybe I'll just do that. Just to have another evasive threat. Not bad. I think I'll keep that on top. Cast the Mist-cloaked Herald. And then attack in for 2. Next turn I can block off Elena, even though he can attack with the Famished Paladins. I think I'm ahead. In terms of damage, I don't need to care too much. I can also just take 2, this untaps. But it's better if I can just use this to block off the 2/2 at the end of the day. Sure, I still have a 3 power attacking in. Could double block the Famished Paladin as well. Could just take 2 here, since if I do trade, he's just going to make a bunch of 1/1 lifelinkers. So I'll take 2. And he's going to gain 2 anyways. Sure, I don't really care. Sure, he's untap. I have good blocks. I think I'll just use the Water Knot. End of turn, I can use the opt. I do need to get rid of this because if I lose any of my creatures, then I mean, if I kill anything, this is going to grow anyways, and I don't really want to give him lifelink. And I can still double block a 4/4 if I need to. So if I take 8, what happens? I swing back. He can chump block a 3/3. I think I double block just to get rid of one. No, I think I need to double block here to prevent the most damage. I still get a 3/3 back, but that's fine. I don't really want to go down to 8. Does he have another dumb trick? Wow, this guy has all the tricks. Yeah, it's pretty bad, but at least these are tapped until he gains life. So he's going to keep swinging me for 4 per turn. Now I have a Storm Sculptor that can get back my River Sneak, and they can hold off the 2/2s. That seemed pretty nice. We'll just do that instead. And then I can attack with both of these. Hold off the Legion Lieutenant or take 2. Hopefully he doesn't gain life, because if he does, he can then tap all this. Let's see, if he does, what happens? I mean, I do have lethal next turn, So do I care if I take the hits? Probably not. Okay, this isn't amazing. So he does need some lifelink here. I can just attack with all. Definitely not trading. Alright, nice. Nice 5 and 2. If he had lifelink, I think that was game over, since he would be out of range and he can untap these paladins, but that goes to show that paladins aren't amazing since it's too conditional to untap it. Even though 2-mana 3/3 is a great stat line, you again need a lot of lifelink to get it going. Locking down the Dusk Rose was definitely the right decision there. So 5 and 2, made back 6.5k gems. I mean 6.5 gems, 650. Just one more win and we can get back 100. Maybe do another Ixalan draft. But for now, I'm quite happy with this. Even if we don't get to 7 wins, this video is still reasonable to upload to kind of show how to draft Merfolk for some of you who are interested in this set. Alright, not bad. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop. Yep. This is the perfect curve and we're on the play. So that's even better. Jadecraft Arson and Mist-cloaked herald is so good. $420, that's hilarious. Hahaha. But we'll just play this game. Alright, opponent might be thinking about keeping, okay. Easy Mist-cloaked herald turn 1. The menace of the set. Could leave a Guildgrowth Stalker instead. Just to play around removal. Don't mind that. We can always drop the Mist-cloaked, the Merfolk Mistbinder later to scare the opponent with an all-out attack. And you could have like a Bombard up, so I don't really want him to use efficient removal right away on their best creature right now. Luckily there's no shock. Okay, so black, red, okay. Alright, so it needs to be attacking. I guess this isn't a bad turn to play the Merfolk Mistbinder, although the River Darter does hold this off. Yeah, I just play the River Darter, take it slow. Maybe then we'll eventually play out the Merfolk Mistbinder. This is just good for blocking the 2/2. So I want to prevent as much damage as possible coming in. Maybe force him to use a removal spell on the River Darter instead. If he attacks, I'm going to be suspicious. Could just play the Thrillback, or I could just play the Merfolk Mistbinder here. Don't mind it. I could just play this for mana efficiency. He could use a trick here. That would be quite awful, but I do get in 5 points of damage. I mean, this is obviously going to imply a trick since he's leaving this back. So I think I'll just play the Mistbinder here and then just attack with both of the unblockables, leave the 2/3 back behind. Maybe that's better. Or I can attack with all. I mean, it's not bad. Yeah, let's attack with all. He would need like another... If he uses the... okay, I guess he can hold off the 3/2 and get a free trade. Okay. I knew he had it, but that's fine. This is still a 3/4 that got in for 3. He can get an attack, that's okay. He could enhance this. Ooh, what's this? At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the City's Blessing, reveal the top card of your library and put it in your hand. Each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the... Nah, I don't think I'm blocking. So this can hold the creature off. So I think the right play is to... I could Tempest Caller, but I think I'll just Jade Artisan here. buff up the River Darter and then attack in with both of these. And he won't have any good blocks. Get him for 7, and next turn we can finish him off with the Tempest Caller. So that's pretty nice. He needs to get the City's Blessing to start using this. But it's definitely a great powerful card for the Vampire deck. And even, I guess outside of Vampire's deck it's still very good. Since it also drains the opponent. And it gets you the extra card. Definitely a really nice bomb. But we made it. Yep. Currently 6-2. Not bad for a Merfolk deck, which is only okay. I don't think this is an amazing Merfolk deck. We didn't pick up any insane bombs or anything. Just a bunch of 1/1 creatures that go well with the Curious Obsession. Okay, 6-2, final boss. Let's fire this off. And who's the final boss? Probably another Merfolk deck or Vampire. It had to be a Mythic player, so let's get lucky here. Alright, starting hand. Okay, he has a nice pet, so he's definitely serious. Ooh, this isn't great. I do need my blue mana, so I think this is a mulligan. I do need double blue to get to Water Knot and Tempest Caller, so it's definitely not a great keep. Okay, we have our mana here. I think this is a fine keep. We could bottom a land, since all we need, we can just drop all of our... we can go turn 1, turn 2, and then turn 3. I think we'll do it like that. Hopefully we can get third land later for the Water Knot, but I don't mind curving out like this. Just Merfolk Beatdown, Jade Bearer on our Merfolk, and then play another Mist-cloaked Herald. Alright, 2-2. That's nice. Guess we'll just play out the Jade Bearer, start attacking. And then we also have a Water Knot if we need to follow up. So this can become a 3-3. If I don't block it, it's going to attack for 2. I don't think I care. He could have a way to kill this, maybe like a Water Knot. That's a great one. But I can still attack him for 1. I don't mind taking 2 here. The River Darter can hold off the 2-2. I can just play the Storm Sculptor, in fact, but I think the River Darter is better. Storm Sculptor can maybe bounce back the Jade Bearer to enhance my unblockables, but I think this is okay. I can still take 2, hold off the 2-2 here. I guess if I get land, it's better, so I can Storm Sculptor, get back Jade Bearer, and then still do it, but Water Knot's okay. Don't mind a Water Knot here, just because this is annoying and I do want to start using my mana. And I can use a 2-3 to hold off everything here, attacking for 3. Jade Bearer, okay, I guess I have another Water Knot target. Guess I'll be taking 3 here. Hopefully we can swing back. He has his own Mist-cloaked Herald. I could chump block, but not now. I think we'll just stay back. Land is good, so now I can play the Storm Sculptor, get back the Jade Bearer, and then attack in for 3 still. Take 3 again from the River Darter. Just want to play on curve here. Leave this back as a blocker on defense, and I can start swinging in more. The Water Knot will next turn will allow me to lock down the River Darter and enhance an unblockable Merfolk. Okay, I can still hold off the fort here. I'll be taking 4 with the Mist-cloaked Herald attacking. So, yep, we'll try this. And I think the right play here... Ooh, another River Darter. The right play here is the Water Knot to 3-4, I think. Jade Bearer on our another unblockable Merfolk. And then leave the 2-3 back, still to block. And we're ahead in the race. That's fine. It just only allows them to go wide. I still have good blocks on the ground. Opt is nice. I think I'll opt first. Bond the land. And then, ooh, that's nice for next turn, but I guess I'll play another River Darter as a good blocker against these 2/2s, attacking for 4. Next turn is game over, since I can just buff one of my Merfolks and then get in for lethal. Opponent might just go for an all-out attack here. I think that would make sense. And I can block off both the 2/2s, trade off the 1/1s. Yep, I guess this is only his only game plan. Gotta mitigate as much damage as possible. So I think the blocks are like this. Take 2. Sure. I think I still survive here. Yeah, so nice. Merfolk Tribal, pretty busted in Rivals of Ixalan. Almost died at 4 wins. Was 4-2, and now I made it to 7-2. So just gotta be careful how you play this deck. One of the games I lost because I didn't bottom correctly. I lost to a pirate deck with the
start this fight, but I will finish
with the double strike ascend, the 2/2 double strike ascend. So yeah, I made a bit of a misplay. Let's take a snapshot of this deck. This is a 4-drop. These are all nice 4-drops. Yeah, just a decent card deck with a nice curve, good number of 1-drops, good number of 2-drops, 3-drops, and 4-drops. And even if 17 lands, it was fine. Even though it could have risked flooding. There wasn't any ways to prevent flood, maybe other than leveraging card advantage with the Curious Obsession. The game plan, obviously, of this deck is to be as aggressive as possible, deal as much damage as possible, and close out the game with the evasion as quickly as possible before the opponents can gain back their life or put up a giant bomb or board sweep you. But overall, pretty fun deck. But it goes to show you how bad Ixalan Draft can be. Rivals, that is, since it's not really a set where you can be open for too long. You're mostly looking to pigeonhole yourself into a tribe right away and flip and hopefully get lucky that your tribe is open. So yeah, might fire off another Ixalan. I don't know. Maybe I can go into another tribe, maybe a pirate deck. Hopefully I play like red-black pirates or pirates ascend. That should be pretty fun. But other than that, keep checking out for more content and have a wonderful day, guys. Take care.